my name is Kimberly Wilson of Tranquility du jour, and welcome back to another episode of Tea with Kimberly. So please grab a cup of tea, a pen, paper, your journal, and I want to share some tips on how I set my week up. Not because it's like the idealized way to do it, but I have found some tips that really help ensure that I'm able to get things in during the week that are important and also take care of myself in the process. Okay, that's the trick, right? Because we're not machines, you know that. And so, how to make sure, though, that the things that are important to you, the practices, the experiences, make it into your planner, right? So, here is my planner from the latest year. You can see there's all sorts of fun things in here. And kind of with it, what I do is on a Sunday night is I will go through. So here's a blank page just to kind of give you, there are 60 pages in here. And of course there's just for spreads. And of course there's just 52 weeks, but this is what a blank one looks like. And so what I do is at the beginning of the week on Sunday night, typically, I will go in, I'll set up my MITs, which are my most important tasks. So the 3 to 5 things that I really need to get done. Then I'll create headings for different projects, right? So whether or not it's my therapy clients, and maybe I want to do some research for someone, or I want to, make sure I follow up about the handout I gave them, whatever it might be. Then I'll list, under therapy, I'll have that because that's one of the main hats that I wear during the week. For TDJ, Tranquility du jour, okay, what are some things I need to do there? Create blog post, record video, nurture coterie with X, whatever it might be. So I have these different categories, right? And some are just like random life things like oil change, things along those lines. Getting my doggy to rehab, he does a water treadmill and gets little massage therapy and things for his joints because he has a little birth abnormality, although I think he's perfect. He's sleeping right here next to me. Anyway, so, those are things that would go into my planner, call to make rehab appointment, right? And so then I look at the week and I make sure, and I usually do this actually a month in advance, I get all my ballet classes in for the week. Okay, so there's my private session, there's various group classes. These are all virtual right now. But I like to make sure because I build my week around those. Those are my anchors. I make sure that they are in there every day and I do not take clients or meetings during those times. So for you thinking of like, what is a priority? You're like, okay, I want to, make sure I'm writing regularly. All right, well, you got to get it into your planner and you got to set the time aside to make sure that happens, even if it's just once a week. It doesn't have to be every day, but you make sure that it's in there. So I create my most important tasks. Meetings are already in there because they've been set probably weeks in advance or at least the week before. But then I go through and I will add additional pieces to just make sure that I'm also getting in things that are going to be nourishing for me, whether or not it's a tea date with a friend, right? Or afternoon stroll between clients, or, going to an art exhibit that is, nearby and that I've been wanting to see and that I could easily dash in and out to do. So these sorts of things I add to my planner to just make sure that I'm getting in as much life stuff as possible versus my life being meeting, or appointment. That takes a toll, and we all know that, right? So can you look at your week whenever makes the most sense? Some people, like to do it Friday afternoons while they're in the office. Others, I'm more of a Sunday night person. Some of you may be a Monday morning. I just like to start the week, though, knowing this is my priority. And, some weeks it's like, okay, work on web design with designer. Okay, well, then that's a priority, right? In addition to all the other appointments that I have, the projects that I want to focus on, I list just 3 to 5, right? And it can be as simple as sending out my clients' receipts, right? So that's one big project that will often go into my MITs. I need to get that out, or I need to send the coterie their welcome manual, whatever it might be. So those are the bigger picture things that need to happen that week. Then I have my appointments, and then I have my projects. And sometimes the projects are not necessarily time sensitive, but I want to keep them in my book, my planner, because otherwise they'll just die by the wayside, right? And so we want to make sure that we carry them over. I was reviewing last year's planner as I was preparing for this new year, and I saw things that I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I had signed up for a pet loss online course, and I lead pet loss support sessions. You're welcome to them all times. Check out my website. They're free. And, but I was going to take another course on it. I had completely forgotten. I bought the course last February, a year ago. And so making sure, that these projecty pieces that they get pulled over week to week, even if they're not time sensitive, otherwise we forget them. So that is how I pull my week together. And I try to make sure that I'm getting in my exercise, I'm getting in some family time, even if it's just in the evenings when I'm done with work, say 8 o'clock, but I get some family time in before then going to bed, right? Or, making sure, of course, my ballet classes, tea dates with friends, things that are also like fun, right? And that nurture your spirit. And you may do other forms of exercise, yoga classes, walks, things along those lines. And you just want to make sure that you save them, those spots, so they don't get eaten up by important meetings, right? Which I know meetings are important, but do we need as many as we have? It's kind of crazy. So what would allow you to make sure your week is set up in a way that nurtures you, allows some you time, and also ensures you get the projects done that are meaningful to you or that you need to do for your job? So I hope this is helpful as you think about planning your week ahead, setting your week up for success, and also making sure that you're able to get those monthly dreams or year's dreams, your overall big picture wishes, into your daily life. Happy planning.